"3 a.m. is a wonderful time. It's when I've done some of my best work. Whether it was assigned reading, piles and piles of math homework, or typing up some essay for English, it always seemed like the best time to hammer out some important assignment. I'm sure you can see what's wrong with that. But I didn't. Not for a while, at least. These obnoxious-looking glasses hid the bags under my eyes for 4 years. But I'm sure everyone else is probably just as tired, even if it might not be because of an atrocious sleep schedule. One reason is staring us in the face tonight. Like Tatum, I'm honored to be here with you at the class of 2018 commencement. Dr. Cowan, on behalf of my fellow graduates and all of the students of Mesa Public Schools, we would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your dedication and service to our education. This is supposed to be memorable and exciting. I should feel fulfilled and proud of all I've done, but I'm just tired. I'm really, really tired. And now I have to deal with all this. But when I walked into my first class day after day on 3 hours of sleep, looking like I was hit by a bus, at least I know I looked a whole lot better than I felt. Because I may be tired, but I, like many others out there, am constantly dying of stress. You probably know the feeling too. We're all so unbelievably stressed that even something as simple as writing a 5-minute speech can turn into a relentless marathon of self-loathing. Written at, you guessed it, 3 a.m. I read somewhere that the average high school student has the same stress levels as a mental patient in the 1950s. I don't know if it's true or not. It might have been made up by the Russians. Nobody knows anymore. So that's fun. But even the adults in our lives have dealt with this before. The reason it seems like no one wants to talk about this is because the struggles have changed over time. Our grandparents weren't expected to take a full year of college their junior year of high school. They didn't have to shell out hundreds of dollars to the college board, which might as well be classified as a terrorist organization. But they've still been there. They had to worry about being drafted. Stress has been a constant in the world we live in for decades. It can easily consume you, and if you're not careful, you can spend months just coasting. That's right, folks, senioritis is real. I heard you can get a medical card for it. At its worst, it feels like you're drowning. It feels like we're all drowning. I don't want to get controversial. That's a lie, I really, really do. But the world right now is stress incarnate. We don't know why things are the way they are, but we feel powerless to bring about change. I can't even listen to Kanye anymore. This cruel world took Kanye from me. That was all I had. So why then? Nothing's getting better. The only time Arizona makes national news is when schools shut down, and we weren't even the first state to try that. At least we can't get more divided, right? And that's actually a perfect opportunity to call out one of the biggest weights on society's collective back, the relentlessness of the 24-hour news cycle, which spiraled out of control with the growth of technology to give us all a looming sense of dread for the future. My grandmother told me that when she was in high school, she expected people to live on Mars by 2018. Now we can't even make a good Jurassic Park sequel. And that had dinosaurs in it. And Chris Pratt. It should have been good, but like everything and everyone else in the world, they managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. That phrase has never been more accurate. We as students have never had more resources available to us. Every one of us was given a device that can access every piece of knowledge that mankind has ever created. We're more connected than past generations of students. There are more avenues available to us once we leave this field. So why am I like this? Why on earth are we all like this? Is it stress? Is it mounting expectations? Is it a fear that we'll disappoint our parents? Is it uncertainty of the future ahead of us? How are we supposed to navigate that? Why even bother? What were we talking about again? I know I rant a lot, When people found out that I was going to speak at graduation, their immediate response was to try and get me to, as they put it, do something good. What does that even mean? What if I told you that that's part of the problem? Forcing our own desires onto other people is a recipe for too high expectations. We're complex people. We can't always speak for others, but we do. We project our own expectations and absorb others as well. But if I just said, "Oh, you, stop doing that," and walked off stage, or more likely, let security drag me off, I wouldn't be doing you all justice. Just recognize that when you're feeling overwhelmed with stress, it might not be because of your own expectations. Ask yourself if you're under pressure because of what you want to do or because of what other people want you to do. This isn't going to end when we part ways after tonight. These expectations have been forced upon us all. It's up to us to put an end to it. Is there a silver lining to all this stress? Well, of course there is. We're all here. We made it. Clearly, the pressure was worth it, and the class of 2018 has faced lots of it. This year was in many ways a difficult one, but we emerged better off because of it. Hopefully, we've all learned something about stress tonight, even though, to quote Michelle Wolf, "You should have done more research before you let me do this." But as much as it hurts to say, I'm not alone in my late-night studying or my dependence on Dutch Bros to stay conscious. That's the paradox of modern life. We all feel isolated, even though people with similar feelings are closer than we think. So reach out. Do some stuff. Get on with your life and know that we've all been there. Despite the pressure, we have endless resources that can make us more knowledgeable than ever before. And that's how we'll be able to make a difference. Hopefully, knowing more about stress will help us overcome it. Just don't spend 4 years of your life thinking that your best work is done at 3 a.m. Thank you.